There are many reasons to do this sort of exercise. It improves your hand-eye coordination, it improves your understanding of perspective, and it gets you further and further toward our goal. To be able to draw in perspective without having to put the actual vanishing points and eye level on the page, just to intuitively know what angle the line should take in order to represent the world the way that we all see it. I'm using my Papermate Flare medium to draw a heavy eye level. I'll be doing that, and just an ordinary ballpoint pen. Remember why we do this. We use the pen so that when you lightly put down a line and you need to correct it, you aren't erasing it. You're not erasing it. If you erase it, you have nothing to compare it to when you try the line over again. So we need to leave all of our lines in. It gives our drawing lots of energy as well. And remember, we're going to start a little diagram, a guideline diagram up above, and make an enlarged version of it down below. So I start with my eye level, and I'm going to make it dark with my Papermate pen. That way, I'm going to put a vanishing point here. I'm going to work in 2-point perspective, so I need both of those. And now it's just a matter of remembering your handedness. I feel just today, whatever mood I'm in, I need to go this way with my pen, and I'm doing it lightly. These are perspective guidelines, and I'm going to fit my boxes within these lines. And you need a fair number of them. And what you'll notice, what's very important to notice, is that the lines gradually become a straight line as they get closer and closer to the eye level. Now, we're not drawing above eye level. We could draw above eye level, but it's important to do that also, because there will be many occasions where you're drawing a light source and you will need to draw on the ceiling. So always include these in your drawings. Now I've got to turn this way, and this is different for everyone. You either pulling toward you, or some people find it easier just to draw straight up and down. So you'd be turning the paper in a manner that would allow you to do that. Now after you have your guidelines in, it's a matter of finding the box inside those lines. Now, if you're looking at reference, what you'd be looking at is the bottom line of the piece of furniture that you're drawing, or of the room that you're drawing, and you would follow that as your guide. You can draw in between these lines and use the vanishing point to give you something different if what you're getting is not what you're after, or if you need more information. But I'm going to draw a box. I'm going to start, I think I need one more. I don't know why, but you'll know why when you... Okay, I'm going to start down here. I'm going to put a corner. In 2-point perspective, you need to start with the corner. And I've got my guideline to go back, and I'm going to go back about this big. I have a box in my mind's eye, and I'm going to just draw it. Now I've got my guideline. So now it's telling me that at this eye level, and with this information, this is how these lines should look. And I know they're correct because this more distant view, although it is the same size as this corner, appears much smaller. And this distant view appears smaller than this part that is closer to me. So I know I'm on the right track. And to finish up, I just finish up like that. Now I'm going to put another box on top. I can firm up my lines. I'm going to put another box on top. I'm going to make it maybe just about the same size as the box on the bottom. Okay, and I don't have a line there, so I can consult my vanishing point. I think I'd like to go a little higher. I don't like the look of that, so I'll go a little higher. And now I'll drop this in. And I can see that the same thing is happening, that this appears smaller than the part that's closer to me. And it's important always to show what's going on underneath, inside the box. I need to know that. I'm going to put a little bit of a box here, so it's sitting on top, and I have guidelines here. I'm going to put that in. Okay, now I've got a box, and I'm ready. I can now start on my larger version, keeping this in view. Now, I began this with the corner that's closest to me, and I'll begin this way as well. This time though, I'm going to be going very, very lightly. Now that first line sets up many things. It sets up the scale. Everything I do from now on, I'm going to relate to that known height. I know that height. So I just have to follow through, and I'll see. And also, I can keep going back to this drawing. And now I see that this is half of that. So I know that if I put this same measure above, I'll have the right height for that back part. If I go back there, if I need it, I know that I've got now the right height for the back as well. And I'm going very lightly because a lot of these lines I don't want to keep. Now, next job is to get that angle. I've got to try it. So I'm going to do a phantom line because I'm not sure how to get that. So I've got to take my time and do phantom lines, and then when I'm ready, I'll hit the paper. I'm keeping it very light. I'm going to go to this angle now so that I can compare it to that one. And it's not quite so extreme. So I'm going to do a phantom line. I think it can be a little more extreme. Okay, that feels right. It just feels like the right angle. And now I've got this height, and I'm looking at that now. I know that my lines angle less and less as they get closer to the eye level. So I know already that I'm not going to make this as angled as that. I'm going to make it a little more gentle. Okay, and keeping it very light. And I know this is less angled than that. So I got to keep that in view as I'm going this way. Now, don't forget that you can turn your paper upside down if that would help you to get these angles correctly. Now this, I'm going to even take this back because this is even less angled than that, and that's going to help me get my back. And now I'm looking at this in relation to that. So it's longer than the height, so I'm going to make a stab at that. Now at this point, if I decided I had made a mistake here and made this too long, I can correct it here. So I'm going to correct it. I'm going to make it a little less far back than I had it over there. And here I need this width. So I'm going to make it a little bit wider than it is the other way. So yeah, so that looks about right for me. Don't forget, you can cross your corners. You get more accurate corners when you cross them. Now I have to look at this and compare it to that and see what's going on there. So these two meet, you see, over here. So I've got to angle this the right way or they're not going to meet, and this is not going to look right. That's going to pop up. This is the danger zone. These are the things that haunt you. They're the ones that pop up and make things look not the way that we all see things. So see, this is outside of that, so that's helping me. There's that, so I can go outside of that a little bit, and that'll help me. And then you stop and you look to see, okay, not exactly the same. This dips down a little lower, but it looks correct. It looks like it's in perspective. And to check it, we'll draw this line in. And notice that I'm not tickling. I'm trying, I hope I'm not. I'm trying very hard to do a deliberate line, just very lightly, and following through. Okay, so now this appears wider, higher than this, and this appears higher than that, and this appears higher than that. So the most distant view is falling in line with our plan. Now I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to bring this part, it still is quite a bit below eye level, so even though it's not quite as angled as this, there's not as big a difference as there is from here to here. So I've got to make this gentler, but not by very much. Okay, and then now again, this is all great practice in terms of aim, how you're aiming to make things happen here, your directions that you're going, you're being conscious of what you're doing, and then it's also, it's great for a whole bunch of reasons. So, and I'm looking at this again, I'm looking to see that this appears less wide than this. If it doesn't, then I'm in trouble. Now once it hits here, I know to go straight up. I may not have been telling you that often enough, but as soon as you cross over, one perspective line crosses over another, you know to turn around and go the other way. So this crossed over, I turn around and went the other way. And you could stop there, and that in and of itself would have gone some way toward improving your hand-eye coordination and getting you free of having always to rely on these eye levels and vanishing points, because now you carry them around in your head.